Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. Hello, my lovely soul fam. It's so lovely to be back here and see so many of you here already. And we have been, hello, Wishing Pool Tarot. Oh, Jim, hello. Yes, I'm a lettuce leaf. I'm a wet, soggy lettuce leaf. It's, it's good God, it's just been so hot and humid in the Mediterranean. I cannot tell you, especially on islands like where Christine is in Cyprus and where I am on Gozo and Malta. The humidity is just horrific. And I just feel like I've got permanent heat exhaustion. But let's see who's there this morning, because Andy's here, Christine, Parry, hello Parry, Simi, Amac, Jim, Wishing Pool Tarot, hello Wishing Pool Tarot, Poonam, and I think there was, yes, I think I've got all of you here, Amac, yes, Ness Poetry, hello, welcome, good to see you here. And who else have we got? Well, how was your week last week? It's so funny because while we're waiting in the chat for me to sort of go, countdown, when do I start going? Hi, Rebecca in Ohio. Anne Burke, hello. And it's so funny because Christine and I were being awfully British and discussing the weather, because this is what the British do. We discuss the weather. And when we discussed the weather, we then discussed how we would like to have cold showers and how the water in the shower isn't cold enough, and how I would like to get into the fridge. So it's just really interesting the way the English kind of culture goes in this kind of situation. I wonder if it's the same in every culture, or is it just the English that talk about the weather when we don't really know what else to say, but we want to go, hello, we're here, isn't this exciting? So it's just really funny. Hello, Ramona, good to see you. Wishing Pool Tarot, you've not had a great week. I'm very sorry to hear that. And I think, Simi, you said it looks like you're not having the surgery. Okay. And someone else said they'd had a very good week. I had a very good week, actually. It was positive. I think new doors opening, seeds being sown, and really I feel quite optimistic and positive about the way things are unfolding. Hi, Liz the Iron Maiden. You had a better week mostly. That's good to hear. Shirley in Texas, I expect you've got it very hot as well. And, as I said, we didn't have huge astrological energies taking place last week, but we were still really in the grip of that lunar eclipse. Wow, wasn't that powerful? Look at the things that have happened in this last week. And I think that will be ongoing. I think we're still going to see more of that. And Poonam, you had a better week. Cosmic BL, no, you didn't. Okay. Russian Dye Earthling, hello. Hi. And I think now this next week, remember, we're now leading up to the new moon partial solar eclipse in Virgo at the 29th degree next Sunday. So when we meet next Sunday, we will be in the eye of the storm of the eclipse of that new moon partial solar eclipse. So that's going to be very interesting to see what is happening around that time. So Poonam, you're feeling anxious about this coming week. Why? Hello, Brenda. Good to see you. You're driving. Okay. Be careful. Keep your eyes on the road. And, this week, the energies are shifting a bit. There is more of an emphasis on the element of air. And I think that that's going to be quite noticeable from the week after this, when we have the autumn equinox. But I'll discuss that more next Sunday. But I think what we're going to start noticing, because planets are starting to move signs, because Mercury, our planet of communication, moves into Libra on the 18th. So it's moving into a sign where there's much more balance, much more harmony. Mercury can feel a bit less anxious and freer about the way Mercury puts information across. And then on the 19th, Venus, that is, of course, the goddess of love and relationship, and also governs self-worth and the economy, enters Virgo. So we've got those energies also coming up. Now, if we come back to what's happening at the beginning of the week, there's a feeling that, you see, we've got on the 14th, that's today, not a lot, nothing of any great note happening. 15th tomorrow, quite calm, nothing special, all okay. You were very emotional, Liz, on Monday after the eclipse. Jim, air is breathable. Yes, if we go into more air, it is more breathable. I think we won't feel so restricted and constricted. And I just want to see what is being said. Okay, right. So now on the 16th, which is on Tuesday, Mars, our planet of energy, action, aggression, assertion, fighting, can be arguments. Mars will be in opposition to Chiron, who is all about healing and trauma. And Chiron, of course, is in Aries, and Mars, as we know, is in Libra. So how is this energy going to play out? Yes, Christine, I think the energy is tense. And I just want to see what Ness Poetry is saying. You're a Libra rising and you've been feeling like withdrawing and taking time out and also saying no to things you don't really want to do. That's good. That's great. And say yes to more of the things you really want to do. Absolutely. That is what we have to do. Hi, Ailing717. And that's great. Parry, yes, it's important to focus on what we need, desire, and how to actually live in the most comfortable way for us, our conscience, and our psyche and soul. So let's just have a look about Tuesday with this Mars opposite Chiron, because Mars is going to be a bit of a player over the next couple of weeks, because Mars is moving towards a square, and that is going to be on the 24th, so not till next week after this, a square with Pluto. And I think that will see the culmination of what I feel is building up in a pressure cooker. Let's just unpack this. Mars opposite Chiron. We know there have been some pretty shocking occurrences in the news. America, I know there was another school shooting that did not get any noticeable airtime because it coincided with the murder of, I'm going to forget his name, because Charlie Kirk. Okay, because we're not familiar with him in Europe. So it's not a name that springs obviously to mind. But, you know, I want to say it really does not matter what he was representing or whom he may have been representing. Murder is never the answer. Never, never, never. And Mars opposite Chiron, I think, could spill out into some more aggression. So that's only on Tuesday this week. We may see maybe information coming out about aggression and bad things happening, but we may also see more pretty inflammatory expressions of violent behavior. Now, in the UK over the weekend, there was a huge protest of something like, I think it was something in the region of, wow, it was thousands, something like, I can't remember how many thousands, but 15,000. Anyone who's in England, if you can remember how many people were out on the streets of London yesterday, let me know. But there were two factions, and this is what's happening in the world in general. It's happening in America, it's happening in Europe, it's happening in France, it's happening in Nepal, has had the most dreadful week and fatalities in the protests they've had there. And in the UK, what started off as a peaceful protest against all the things that the right-wing extremists stand for, of course, kind of collapsed into a bit of chaos at the end, because it's always the minority that spoil it for the majority. So you had two factions. You had the far right and then the people really who were on the far left saying, hey, everyone has a right, everyone has a soul, everyone has a right to be, etc., etc. Now, I'm just going to stay neutral in all of this because my opinion isn't valid. What I'm here to do is bring you the astrology of what this is all about. And what I'm saying is, I think the astrology is telling us we're going to see more of this, especially, and I know I'm leaping ahead to the 24th of September, when Mars squares Pluto, the community at large, the people. I think we are going to see big outbreaks of frustration amongst large groups of people. Yes, Christine, I think that is a very good point. I think there is a sense of revolution. Certainly that feeling is around in Europe, and that feeling, I think, was around in the UK yesterday, and probably, okay, Poonam, maybe that's what you're picking up. You're picking up the dis-ease and the unrest of people collectively as we move through this week's energy towards that new moon partial solar eclipse. And, you know, now my new moon video is up now on my channel. And thank you to all of those who have already watched it and commented. I managed to get it up a bit earlier this time. So thank you very much. That really means a lot. And hi, Shirley. Yes, revolution. Absolutely. And the Wishing Pool Tower, the BBC underplayed it, did they? Sky News, I think, said it was about 10 to 15,000, I think. Yes, Christine, Pluto is what they call out of bounds, which means it's out of sight. But it doesn't mean it's not going to have an impact. It actually, on some level, amplifies its connection with what's outside of it, what is external. So the people, the power of the people, and that, you know, really tense energy that could be in the core of Pluto has gone out into the collective, into the community, and will be expressed in that way. And, you know, it's only a sort of recent phenomena that astrologers are starting to talk about planets when they're out of bounds. And I had to ask my teacher mentor what it meant, because I wasn't really sure. But I have to be an astrologer and I have to sound very knowledgeable in all these things. And I said, and does it make a difference? And well, you know, he said, kind of, but, you know, don't get hung up about it. So I'm not going to get hung up about it. Let me see. Maggie, bless you. Thank you so much. She says she sends my videos to friends. Poor them. They're forced to watch it and write an essay about it in the morning. Martinique, yes, it would be a good idea to get a birth chart reading. Email me, penny@pennydix.com, Website is pennydix.com. But email me, and that's how we make the arrangement, and let me know your time zone. And I'd love to see you. And the streets of London were absolutely jam-packed. Yes, I saw that Wishing Pool Tarot. I really, felt the power of it. It was very difficult to not follow it on the news because there was a sense of that energy and the anticipation. But anyway, oh dear, going the wrong way. It's because I'm looking in the mirror. No, it goes that way. Excuse me while I talk amongst myself. Okay. Yes, exactly, Parry. I think that is a very, very important point. Parry has said we have to come together in peace with compassion for each other, regardless of our differences. We have to be civil and show each other kindness. I think the problem is with the way things have been unfolding, it has almost become impossible for people to not react. And I think that the energy that we are being cradled in at the moment is reactive. And yet, common sense should tell us it is much better to respond to these situations, to listen, to find a way to have meaningful debate. But the problem is when we see those in charge seemingly to also be not perhaps being congruent and honest, when we see deception, when we see things like, I'm talking about the UK now, the US ambassador, Peter Mandelson, having to step down or being told to step down because of his associations with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, hello, the UK government knew this. What WTF were they thinking of? What was the Prime Minister thinking of? Didn't he think this might come back to bite him in the bum? Well, Mars opposite Chiron on the 16th of September. He may just get away with this by the skin of his pants, but I think any more wrong turns or uncovering of big bloomers on his part, and I think we will be having another Prime Minister. Now, let's move on to the 17th, because on the 17th, which is Wednesday, when I'll be doing my midweek Wednesday Astro Witter, so I will talk about this particular transit in more detail. This is Mercury, and Mercury is still at this point in Virgo, the sign it rules. Mercury, remember, communication, news, thinking, ideas. It is in opposition to Saturn. Saturn is saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. Saturn is in Pisces. There is news around which isn't clear. And Saturn is urging, by this tension to Mercury in Virgo, is urging Mercury to be mindful and not come out with anything just yet, because it may be inflammatory. Or its impact may not be felt in the way that it needs to be felt. The middle of the week is going to be full of a bit of confusion, delusion, and illusion, because the next day, hang on a minute, where was I going? On the 19th, that's right, on the 19th, Mercury by then has moved into Libra, moves in on the 18th, and on the 19th September, Venus enters Virgo, so that's going to shift the energy it gets. We've got a lot of changing energies this week, and you'll notice it midweek. It's like we're going to be a little bit on a bit of a seesaw, so we're going from earth into air. And then we've got, Uranus and Pluto, both in air. We've got that up there with their sextiles to Saturn and Neptune. So we've got this kind of umbrella of Uranus and Neptune. And they, in turn, of course, are making wonderful trines to what will be the new moon partial solar eclipse at 29 degrees, but also the Libra when the sun moves into the 0 degree and 1 degree of Libra for the autumn equinox next Monday, not tomorrow, the following Monday, the 22nd, we will have this wonderful grand air trine. Now, this trine is something we haven't experienced for a while. And we're going to have an opportunity to experience its freshness, its air, its lightness, its ideas, its being able to think outside the box. We are going to be able to really experience that energy in really quite a lovely way. And that is going to actually unfold on and off over the next two years, really, because as Pluto in Aquarius and Gemini in Aquarius move forward in their respective signs, keeping their trine going, of course, they will also have a trine every time a planet or the sun or moon come round to be at whatever degree of Libra is needed to make that grand air trine. So we have this wonderful sense of where we can get to, where we can go to with this energy is oh God, because I'm looking in a, excuse me, I'm going bonkers. I'm just trying to get, it's falling in my eyes and I'm trying to get it the other way. But you see, when I look in the camera, I'm looking the wrong way. I'm just going to do that. There we go. Right. Let me see. What are we all saying? Because I'm missing what you're saying. Yes, Christine, certain people in flaming situations. Yes, Parry, hold on to your dreams. Paradise on earth. Jim, swimming upstream, thorough, heavily promoted reactive energy. Yes. Yes, the Wednesday Witter, that's coming on Wednesday. Hi, Mary Francis in Cleveland. Welcome. And let's just go down. Dancing and music. Yes, I think we need plenty of that. How does Venus behave in Mercury? Well, I think Venus would have a lovely time in Mercury. What we have to look at, Ness, is how does Venus behave in Virgo? Well, Virgo, remember, is about precision. It's about detail. So here we have Venus, maybe at times getting a little bit frustrated, but it is an earth sign. So Venus rules Taurus, so it is comfortable with earth. It also rules Libra, where it will be going next. But Venus is going to be in Virgo and Mercury will now be in Libra. So Mercury is the one that moves fastest. It goes much faster than the other planets. So yes, Cosmic BL. Venus in Virgo. It's okay, Ness. I'm teasing you. It's just someone recently said to me, I've got Jupiter in my oh God, I can't remember. She said something and it was so sweet. And I said, well, we can't really have that, but never mind, we'll sort it out when we meet. Venus in Virgo, I know. Listen, I get it wrong all the time. So, listen, I say wrong things all the time. I think what's interesting when Venus moves into Virgo is that we'll instantly be conjunct the moon in Virgo. So there will be a feeling of a brief window of intuitive clarity about how you feel about yourself. This is the 19th, right? How you feel about yourself, how you feel about relationships, and how you feel about your financial situation. So that will be a brief moment of clarity. Liz, your rising sign is Virgo. Okay. So at some point, Venus will be going over your ascendant, which is lovely. That's really lovely. I think you'll be feeling positive. I think you will feel valued. I think you will value you, as well as noticing that others are valuing you. And it's a good energy. And yes, Christine, I see what you've pulled, an animal medicine card for later. Yes, absolutely. We will look at that a little bit later. But let's just, I want to go on to the 19th, because Mercury will be opposite Neptune, still in Aries. Now, Mercury opposite Neptune in Aries, we're going to have, hang on, lost my place. Oh, there it is. Right. So Mercury opposite Neptune, confusing or smoke screens, news that comes out that day that we just can't make out. We think, that doesn't feel right. Surely not. That can't be right. I think it's a day to not believe everything you are told, hear in social media, or see in the news. Just be mindful that day, because I just feel there's going to be a lot of confusion and illusion. It almost looks as if someone is trying to send out diversion tactics of stories to divert us away from the truth. And we know, of course, that comes this way, doesn't it? That's it. That's better. We know, of course, that they do this. They create something, they being the magical they create something to take the focus off the Epstein files, for example. So let's see. Everyone's telling each other they love each other. That is wonderful. We need more love. Absolutely. Yes, it'll be lovely, Liz. Venus on your ascendant. We love you, Liz. Yes, absolutely. We do. I love all of you. I think you're all awesome. Cosmic BL, your Pluto, Moon, and Venus are in Virgo. You're going to have a busy month. That's going to be fun. That'll be lovely. That'll be nice. Just little pockets of interesting energy and a nice feeling. And let's see, Parry, I'm sure you feel off kilter, because I know that you are going through a tough time. Please know that we all love you, Parry, and we're giving you energy, healing, and support. Really, really, really. Christine, X-ray vision. We will certainly need X-ray vision with Mercury opposite Neptune. Don't fall for the bait. That's what I want to say about that energy. And when did I say that was? It's on the 9th, it's the 18th and the 19th. Now, by the time we get to the 20th, which is next Saturday, Uranus in Gemini, retrograde, remember, will be squaring Venus in Virgo. Now that could create some shocks, some surprises to do with relationships. We might see, we could see disruption coming out. We could see disruption around finance. We might see that we're coming to a tipping point with the economy where it might just start looking not quite so interesting and buoyant. So I think the following week with the equinox, we need to pay a little bit of attention to that. Venus in Virgo is looking for precision. And Venus in this sign is being very practical about love and relationship. And Venus wants things to be simplified and to keep order. Now, with Uranus clashing with Venus, it's as if we've got this, it's like Uranus is trying to rain on Venus's parade to stop us actually seeing the bigger picture, because there's something sort of counter to that, which is the Uranus trine Pluto is encouraging us over the next few months and couple of years, because they will kind of move almost hand in hand as they move through their respective signs. They are actually inviting us to try to not lose sight of the bigger picture, which is something about what that partial solar eclipse is next Sunday in Virgo. Don't lose sight of the bigger picture. And just because that eclipse is happening in the southern hemisphere, where the northern hemisphere, which is the most densely populated part of the planet, can't see it, doesn't mean it's not there. And I think we have to take the metaphor of that. So we might find with this Uranus square Venus tension in relationships, our own relationships. Oh, wow, really, Maggie? Your electric bills have gone up about 30% in America. Your dollar is worth the least in your whole lifetime. Wow, that's big. That's bad. This is awful. And I know this is happening worldwide as well. And actually, there's a really nice aspect that could happen next Saturday, is that you could meet somebody who's a little bit quirky, avant-garde, a bit unusual, and find you're quite attracted to them. So it's that kind of quirky attraction, because, you know, Venus can be about attraction, and of course Uranus presents something unusual. So you might have a dialogue with someone where it's a very dynamic and kind of rather sort of interesting energy that comes up between the two of you. But you've also got to watch out for financial instability with that energy, or sudden expenses cropping up. So be aware of that too. And I think we also are going to have to think about what we truly value. I think Uranus is really trying to wake us up. Whilst it goes through Gemini, remember it's going to pop back into Taurus for a while, but whilst it goes through Gemini, it's really going to try and wake us up. I think when it does go back into Taurus, and I can't remember when that is, but I'll see if I can find out while we're talking about it. Because when Uranus goes back into Taurus, I think we really have to watch the economy then. Everywhere in the world, we've got to watch the economy. Let me see. Uranus, when do you go back? I think it's November. Yes, it's November the 8th. Uranus will move back into Taurus, and it will stay there till next April. So we need to be mindful of that. So I think the end of the year could see quite a bit of instability, especially as Uranus gets to that 0-degree point of Gemini. We're going to start seeing instability in the markets. I think there's something here about how important being unconventional is. You know, unconventionality is so refreshing. And I think we all need to be reminded sometimes to get out of our rut, to change our routine, to do something a little bit different. If you think about this new moon next Sunday, Virgo can be about routine. Maybe the Uranus trine to the new moon is actually saying, try something a little bit different. Do something different. Sleep on the other side of the bed. Sit somewhere different in your living room. Just do something different. You know, it's always good to shake us up. What's going on here? You're having a chat about water levels have dropped, Cosmic BL. Yeah, you know, this Neptune energy in Aries, all that fire in Aries is perhaps drying things up. Oh, yes, Liz, thank you for reminding everybody. Please remember to like the stream, thumbs up Free, it's a free way to support the channel. And at the end of it, if you share it on Facebook, share it with your friends. Doesn't matter if no one looks at it, the shares count. And the algorithms on YouTube have changed. And I pity anyone starting a channel now, because I think it must be extraordinarily difficult. But it's really not easy, and one's having to really find easier and better ways to get yourself up in the algorithms, because sometimes it's not that content creators aren't putting out good content, it's just that we don't know it's there. So it's like, I can put out some good videos, but if you don't know they're there, unless you go to my channel, why would you know? So I'm just, I like that, Christine, release and let go. Ailing, change is needed, healthy, don't fight. Yes. Yeah. Oh, Parry, you are so welcome. We love you, Parry. We love having you here. Ness, what are you saying? It's funny what you're saying about doing things differently. You recently changed my living room round and sit in a different place. How wonderful. That's it. That's it. Do you know, I was sitting in a different place this afternoon, and I was looking at the painting that was opposite me, and I was thinking, I don't like that there. Tomorrow I'm going to have to move that. I just don't like it there. I don't want to sit here and look at that. So same kind of thing. So listen, before we come to our card of the week and cards from you that you are going to select, I'm going to give you some quotes about being unconventional, because I decided to cope with this rather changeable energy. I think we need to really think outside the box and be unconventional. So here are a collection of quotes that capture the essence of unconventional behavior. And oh, Maggie, absolutely, you're overfighting. Cosmic BL, you saw an interview with 91-year-old Jane Goodall, the chimp lady. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Yeah. Do you know, I've noticed a lot of more mature people are doing YouTube channels and coming out with some profound wisdom. Good for them, I say. I feel quite a baby by comparison. So listen, here's some quotes about being different. Bertrand Russell said, "Do not fear to be eccentric in opinion, for every opinion now accepted was once eccentric." And isn't that true? Isn't that true? Oh, we'll never fly. Oh, we'll never land on the moon. What have we done? We fly. Oh, well, I know landing on the moon is a rather controversial subject, because there's the conspiracy theories about, did it really happen? Answers on a postcard. I don't know. Does it matter? I think they probably did. But anyway, there we go. Let me see. So the next quote is by Jiddu Krishnamurti, which is, "It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society." Isn't that the problem in a lot of places in the world? If one is actually pretty psyched out, knows oneself pretty well, understands the ego, one's own narcissistic bit, the self, the psyche, the soul, and can see the bigger picture and has learnt to respond to situations and not react. Oh, Shirley, bless you. Thank you. Oh, Shirley has donated some money to the channel. Thank you, Shirley, for the kitty's treats. I really appreciate. Thank you. Yes, we have to be more eccentric as we age. Absolutely. Jerry Hall said that. I quite agree with her. Quite agree with her. And Albert Einstein said, and you will know this one because it's quite a well-known quote, "The person who follows the crowd will usually go no further than the crowd. The one who walks alone is likely to find themselves in places no one else has ever been. And I would like to suspect that most of you here are like that. You don't follow the crowd. I think there are certain types of people, and I suspect you are people that don't follow the crowd. And I like that. Yes, Poonam, it's a great quote, isn't it? And now we've got 3 quotes on innovation and freedom. The first one is by Steve Jobs, and you will know this very well. It's here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, because the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that do. And as much as I don't go on the extreme right in any form, which was what was happening in the UK yesterday, which is what is happening in the United States, at least what I do respect or admire is that they're standing up for what they believe, and they are trying to fight for free speech. But I just think what they stand for is too extreme in my particular book, because I'm more of a, can we keep the balance here? Can we try and accommodate the whole and not just the few? Because I think that's what we have to do. And Arthur C. Clarke said, every revolutionary idea seems to evoke 3 stages of reaction. It's impossible. It's against the Bible. It's what we've always believed. And that is very true, because to get beyond what we've always been told, to challenge a belief and actually see beyond it, and that is what Uranus stands for. Uranus shows us that we can see beyond it. Alan Kay said the best way to predict the future is to invent it. I like that. Yep, think outside the box, absolutely. What else are we saying? Arthur C. Clarke, yes. Books, yes, they're a great struggle when decluttering. I was ruthless when I was starting to declutter my place at the beginning of the year. I thought I'm just gonna have to let them go. Now, here's 3 quotes on courage and authenticity. And you know what I think about authenticity. It is so important. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, and this you will also know, this is quite a famous quote, but it's always good to hear these again because we can hear them differently. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Mark Twain said, whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect. I like that. I think that is a great truth. Okay, I'm going to hold that in my head, Christine. Dolphin card, I like that. Breath, okay. Okay, we encounter the energy that life emits. Okay. Right, now let me go on to, then there's a lovely one here, Laurel Thatcher Ulrich, who said, well-behaved women seldom make history. Oh, well, maybe I would be historical because I'm certainly not well-behaved. I like that. And then there's the last 3 quotes before we do dive into the cards is on the benefits of being unconventional. And okay, Simi, I'm going to come to that. I hope they don't all run away. I'm going to have to, right, let me do these last 3 quotes. So there's an unknown quote, first of all, which is unconventionality is the child of freedom and the parent of progress. And then Clarence Darrow said, progress is born of doubt and inquiry. The unconventional opens doors to the truth. And that is Uranus in Gemini. That is what's going to be coming from this wonderful grand air trine between Uranus, the Sun, and Pluto when they line up for the autumn equinox. I am actually, going to do a separate video about the autumn equinox because it deserves it. So I will do that. Let me see what you've got. The Wishing Pool Tarot. Okay, just let me finish these. So here's an adapted proverb as the last quote, which is, the reward for conformity is that everyone likes you but yourself. The reward for being unconventional is that you find your own voice. Yes, I like that. So you pulled a card for the astrology next week. 4 of Cups. There could be disappointment. What do you think, Wishing Pool Tarot, it will be disappointment about? Is that on a collective level? Just wondering, just wondering. Let's see. See me? Cat hair, always cat hair. See me, you pulled the Tower, the 3 of Wands, and the 8 of Wands. Wonderful change coming, isn't it? That's lovely, see me. I think that's fabulous because that's like everything is breaking down. And that is what's happening now. We have to have this massive breakdown and then we get the breakthrough, because the 3 of Wands is the decisions have been made. We've got rid of the old. We are now looking at how we build the future. And then you had the 8 of Wands, and then things really speed up and the sort of airwaves are absolutely buzzing with information. I love that. Christine, Dolphin, breathe with me. Breath of the divine. Manna of the universe, in oneness we entwine. That's beautiful, Christine. And it also brings in this element of air again, which is really quite interesting. And we are, of course, about to go into that Libra season, that air season. Parry, you're making a soup with yams, collard greens and leeks and celery with carrots and cabbage for a healthy and tasty meal with friends. I'll be right over, but it'll take me about 48 hours to get to you. Cosmic BL, you picked the healing angel, spiritual and physical healing, perfect health, influences even in difficult situations, thus transforming them into a peaceful haven. Moreover, you had the vision of a small dress. Okay. So, well, I think that's lovely because it is bringing in healing. And I think, you know, if any of us needed something at the moment, I think we all need a bit of spiritual healing and just healing in general. Okay, Wishing Pool Tarot, the intention was collective. So this is really saying that the collective could be disappointed. Well, I think the collective already is disappointed because maybe the collective is not looking where it needs to look, because, you know, if I remember the 4 of Cups, the sitter in it, the figure, is not actually seeing the cup that is being offered from the universe. And so there is something here about, you know, the need, again, to see the bigger picture. And I think this is what the collective have to do. They have to see the bigger picture. Let's see. So let's see what card springs out for me for the week ahead. Whoop. Okay. Oh, God, they're all flying today. Right. Well, we've got 2. Oh, I like these. Ta-da! Hang on. What am I doing? There we go. So we have the Devil and Temperance. Well, it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. It's the devil in you. Well, the devil, of course, is, I think this could be revelations of something quite shady. Maybe more comes up this week about the Epstein files. I'll whisper it. We don't want to get banned. And I think there's also a general element of the need for us to be patient. Because temperance is about patience, but it's also about patience. Oh, put the wrong one down. Get rid of the devil. Temperance is all about balance and harmony. And I love the way the angel is connected with the elements. One foot is in the water. We have the air, we have the earth, we have fire. So we have this lovely energy of patience. And I think that, the world in general is going through an incredibly tumultuous time. Things are changing in the most extraordinary way. And we're in it. We're in the thick of it. And it's going to build up and get stronger. And I think that we all have to steer our own ships. We have to be mindful of ours and our own. We have to take good care. I think we really do need to practice authenticity and make sure that we stand back, do not get caught up in the stuff that gets thrown at us by all the news medias, the channels, and look for the stories behind the stories, but not necessarily as a conspiracy theorist, but look at where our attention is being diverted from. Why has this happened? What were we getting too close to the truth of? So I just throw those things out there. Always look at what were we getting too close to the truth of that we're now being diverted away from. I think that is quite a good way to look at these things. Parry, every single moment is definitely a new beginning. And let me see what else we're saying. Thank you, Poonam. Breast like for Penny. Yes, Christine, the past is coming to the surface. It's not changing the way the powers that be want it to. And I'm going to be interested to see what unfolds in Eastern Europe more over the next couple of months with these incursions of Russian drones into Poland, into Romania today. I don't know what's going on, but, I just draw your attention to that Mars-Pluto square next week, not this week coming up, but the following week. I think we have to send out lots of intent for peace and calm for people to not get reactive. But watch a Harry Potter movie, very good idea. What have I missed that Jim said? Has Jim said something? What are you close to? Energy is hitting a tipping point. Yes, Poonam, I think that's a very good analogy. And actually, I've been doing this every day for about a week, and it's something I'm going to try and continue. Not try, I am going to continue. I am continuing. It's just literally write down what I'm grateful for to remind myself that there are a lot of things happening that are behind the scenes or underneath that are very exciting and that I'm really, truly grateful for. And even things just like, oh, wow, my cat sat on my lap for an hour and it was just so wonderful. And I don't know how I stood it because I was so hot. But, I'm just looking at someone here talking about being grateful. Yes, focus on your wonderful pet or pets. And I do think we have to, focus on what we're grateful for. I'm so grateful to have you as a community that we're all part of. And it's just such a lovely feeling. And I think we're very lucky. And it's just lovely because it's like we're putting together all these threads from all over the world. and it's just awesome. Let me see what else. Said something and nothing. The Zoomer, a cat named Bella. The Zoomer, Jim. Yes, Parry, relax into our breath. Yes, absolutely. If you have the time, what impact does the latest eclipse have in next February? Well, I did talk about that a little bit in the new moon video, which is out already up on my channel. But I think we have to realize that what happens between the two eclipses we're experiencing, we're in the middle of the two eclipses now. And the two eclipses that come, one on February the 17th, 2026, and one on March the 3rd next year. The one in February is I think it's a new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius, I think. And then the next one is a lunar eclipse. I might have got that round the wrong way. I can't remember. I think what happens between now and then is going to be critical to how everything else unfolds after next spring. Because also remember, in the middle of those two eclipses next year, we have the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries on that critical world axis, which all it means is that it's supercharged and super powerful and will have an impact. And everything we're seeing unfolding now is building up to what I think will somehow crumble, collapse, and then something will come from beyond that. But what that is, I don't know. And I haven't looked far enough ahead in the astrology to get a sense of what that might be about. But of course, we will have both Neptune and Saturn in Aries. So that is going to be very significant. Now, I just want to tell you some news. First of all, I've started doing videos on my Channeling and Stranger Things channel. So for those of you that have perhaps tuned into that channel and thought it had just gone dead, I started uploading videos again. And not a lot, but I've done a couple of interviews. One about 2 weeks ago was with somebody in Malta who does Feng Shui, and that's a really nice interview for an hour. And then this last week, I did an interview with another lady who lives here in Gozo who reads the Akashic Records, and that's worth listening to. It's a very interesting discussion we have, because I didn't know what it meant to have an Akashic record reading. So that's going to be interesting. But I have a spoiler alert for the next video on channeling and Stranger Things. And this is going to be super exciting, because this one is being recorded, all being well, tomorrow with none other than our very well-known and much-loved astrologer, Steve Judd. Yes, Steve has said he will come on my channel, Channeling and Stranger Things, and we are going to look at Steve, not the astrologer, and some of his other talents, including his fascination and knowledge of crop circles. We're also going to have a little look at 3i Atlas, that interstellar cosmic body that is racing through our solar system. They're on my channel called Channeling and Stranger Things. And it's going to be awesome. And so please watch that. Give it loads of views and watch. What I will do is I will also do a post about it once it's published, and so that you've got a link to it. And I will come back after it's recorded tomorrow and put the link for the video in the description box of this video, but that won't be till tomorrow night. And just to let you know, any of you that have watched that channel in the past, I was working with a very good friend of mine, Sarah Sands Smith. And Sarah has, for the time being, stepped back from the channel because she is on to pastures new. She has found a new timeline, and she is exploring some personal projects that are very close to her heart. So I'm sure if those of you that know her from her work with me will wish her lots of luck, and that everything goes very well for her on her new path. And so I sort of thought about it, and I thought, well, actually, I think I'll keep the channel going. And I've got some ideas for some one-offs that I will do as well when I have some time between doing the astrology videos. But the one with Steve is going to be awesome, and I'm so super excited about it. So please, please, please check that one out tomorrow. Oh, you like the stars in my ears? Oh, well, interestingly, the star around my neck, Anne, was my 21st birthday present from my parents. And I had 2 kind of gold hearts. And I have this lady who makes jewelry, but she transforms jewelry you've already got into something else. And the 2 gold hearts that I had, I said to her, do you think you could make them into stars so that it matches my star? And she said, yes, no problem. And this is what she's managed to do. And I'll put a link for her as well in the channel, because she also did these lovely rings, and and these fabulous bracelets. That's silver, that's a gold one. She's awesome. She's really good. She's excellent. Tara Lois Jewelry. And she has a very small YouTube channel, but I will pop the link in the description box and you can check out her videos. And even if you're living thousands of miles away, you can send stuff to her and she will redesign it, change it, whatever. So don't let that put you off. You don't have to be in Gozo to do it, but she's great. Thank you, Poonam. I'm glad you like the other channel, and I think it'll be Poonam, you're asking about me and Brandon. We are going to do more stuff. Brandon has actually invited me onto a new thing he's doing, and that's in the next couple of weeks time, I think. And so I'm doing that with him, but I can't remember when it is. It's like 2 Fridays time. I'm not sure if it's a live or whether it's a pre-recorded and then he will upload it. I'm not sure, but I am going to be doing more things with Brandon. Yes. And yes, we all miss Sarah. And remember, if you do want hypnotherapy with her, she's a very good hypnotherapist, and all her information is still on the page of the Channeling and Stranger Things channel. So yeah. So anyway, listen, I'm going to go and feed my kitty cats, and thank you so much for all coming and joining me here tonight. It's been awesome as usual. I will be back, of course, next Sunday, when we will be in the energy of the new moon, partial solar eclipse in Virgo. That's going to be very interesting to see what happens this week. Okay, bye, Cosmic BL. See you soon. And just say, love you all. Bye for everybody. And the ruling class and the King of Hearts, being there, and the last Mimsy. Oh, I think I remember those, yes. And see you soon. Just wanted to say, I hope you all have a wonderful, hope you all have a wonderful week. Let me know. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. It's the sharing that really helps as well. And commenting, not just in the live chat, but come back to the video afterwards and put a comment in the comments afterwards, because that again apparently helps with the algorithms, and then we can get more people. So bye everyone, you're all awesome. Have a great week and breathe. Bye for now. Bye.